Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm John Hartledge. Today we're going to go to Southeast Italy. If you see Italy as a boot, think of the heel of the boot. Beautiful area of Italy, fabulous wines, really good prices. Let's chat wine. So Southeast Italy, as I said, really nice values because Southeast Italy, even today, is still one of those areas that, just like we've talked about with production areas around California, you can get some better values when the real estate isn't as expensive. A lot of different reasons. The area isn't quite as well known, not as mainstream, certainly not as mainstream as Barolo and Chianti and Prosecco, some of those really common Chianti, those Italian names that you think of. And this is actually a blend of two grapes, but one grape in particular has a warm place in my heart, almost like Syrah, Primitivo, and that's 70% of this the grape blend in this wine is Primitivo. Primitivo is now considered to be the same grape as Zinfandel, just Primitivo is commonly and traditionally associated with Southeast Italy. So it's going to have differences than Zinfandel because of the area and the soil and the weather influences that it comes across while it's being grown. 70% Primitivo, 30% Negroamano, another grape common to that area, but here's the rub. 30% of Negroamano they took and they lightly dried. So they picked the grapes, dried them a little bit, then blended them in and made wine with the Primitivo. And here's why that's important, because if you dry those grapes a little bit, what happens? Think of raisins. You're not going to let them go that far because you still want juice. But if you're going to dry them a little, you're going to evaporate with the sun and the air. You're going to evaporate a little bit of the water, intensifying the fruit, intensifying the sugar. So this wine gets to 14.5%, another whole percentage point alcohol by volume than you typically have on wine because it has a little more fruit to ferment. So then it forms a little more alcohol. There we go. Looks like it may be a composite cork. So sometimes they bind up a little more heavily, yes. So yeah, this is a cork that's made from cork, but used cork that's shredded and then put back together. Nice. I always check, even if it's this isn't a synthetic, so it is cork material. I always check the smell to make sure it doesn't smell corky. Very nice bottle. Let's pour a little bit. Now, this producer, Gran Appasso, I don't think you would find on a list of producers per se. The production actually is a couple of letters and a bunch of numbers, which makes me think that there is a cooperative of winemakers, a group of winemakers that together have produced this product. If you want to find this wine and use a little bit of search, it's Innovino, I-N-N-O, Vino, and that's on the back label. Innovino is the international importer. Let's see. Really nice nose. There's some nice fruit in there. It's definitely, of course, we're expecting dark berries, but Negroamano is a kind of grape that sometimes gives you a little more cherry. Primitivo is a little more dark berry, so I get a little bit of cherry on the aromatic. But let's taste and see if it maybe might be nice to aerate it too, because it's a relatively young wine. Just fruit is bursting in the flavor. It's so, I wouldn't say pulpy, just so chunky, fruity. There's nice acidity to kind of give it a little bit of a forma, if you will. It gives a little structure, but you can taste a little bit of dried influence. Not enough to taste like Amarone, but really just enough to give it just almost an earthiness, smokiness kind of thing. It's really, really cool. I definitely want to try it with a little bit of aeration. So here we go. One of my favorite little devices. Here's the Venturi, and here comes Bernoulli's Principle. Here we go. I never get tired of that sound. Just love it when we force the air into that wine. Love it when physics meets wine service. And now, because of that, it's a little softer, and I'll get actually a little more out of the nose. Bigger fruit. It's like more intense in the middle of the palate. And just a little smoother, just a smidge smoother from the influence of the air. So I have to say, even at the top, at the $18 price point, this is a fabulous value, and you're getting in the glass basically what you would want from a wine that would be anywhere from $25 to $35 a bottle. So at 18, I'm okay with it, and I've even find it on sale at $14. This is a fabulous value. Really nice bottle of wine, almost something I could sit and just have without food. If I were going to have food, I don't think I want roast. I don't think I want a roasty flavor or anything burnt. Maybe barbecue with like a spicy, sweet tomato-based sauce, but I don't want it burnt. I don't want the char because I don't want to get in the way of this beautiful little bit of passito, this little bit of sun-dried flavor that's in this fruit. But wow, it could, like I say, it could absolutely stand alone. One little interesting thing I have to talk about is that the classifications of types of wine in Italy. You have Vino da Tavola at the lower end by price and sometimes by quality, but usually just means a lot larger area of production and a lot more variety of grape types. This is IGT, which is Indicazione Geografica Tipica. Sounds like a mouthful, but IGT was a rating that they actually started in Italy in order to allow wine growers to use different grapes than were traditional from their area, but also to just be classified because some of the wines are really good. Think Super Tuscan in Chianti in the Tuscany region. Those Super Tuscans are in such high demand. Some of them are $500, $600 a bottle. They're collectibles like Bordeaux. So they had to figure out a way to allow wines to have a rating of quality, even if they weren't the typical grapes that were produced in that area. And IGT is one of those. So IGT, then DOC, and then we've talked about before, DOCG. On a past episode, we did a DOCG Chianti Classico. And that just means that it's the grapes from that area, traditionally centuries-old blend of grapes. In this case, the wineries and the winemakers are allowed to start to expand their palette and expand their portfolios and use some different grapes that actually end up doing very well. In this case, Primitivo is common to the area. Negroamano, not as common. So to have a blend like this, done this way, here's the rub. The IGT from this is coming from the Passito, because you usually don't sun-dry grapes and produce them in a regular table wine in Puglia. You know, that's typically done in the Amarone region in northern eastern Italy. So this is a little bit different, fabulous and great, and one of those IGTs that should not be feared. It should be embraced. Listen, if you like what you saw, definitely subscribe, because you subscribe and you ding that bell, then you'll get a notification we got a new episode up, or when we throw in a little extra little something, a little bonus video, whatever. But we'll send you notifications. And if you're over 21, sip a little. Definitely share the video. We'd like to get this thing going. We are really having a good time. And you know that I'm having a good time. You can tell. The more I sip, the more I talk. But there's always more to say. So you know what? Come back and see me again. Let's chat wine.